I used to believe that love could endure anything, that no matter how far two people drifted apart, there was always a path back. I was wrong. It began months before the night he discovered everything. I could feel a subtle shift in our marriage, but I didn't have the courage to voice it. Evan was still kind, patient. The same man who once looked at me as if I were the only person in the world. Yet somewhere between long nights at the office and quiet dinners, where our words drowned beneath the clatter of utensils, I started to feel invisible. That's when I met Daniel. It was meant to mean nothing. Just someone to talk to, someone who made me feel seen again. But conversations turned into coffee into touches, and touches into a single, irrevocable mistake I would never undo. The night Evan found out, the air felt unnaturally still. I remember his car pulling into the driveway, headlights slicing through curtains. I sat on the couch, pretending to read, every nerve screaming. Daniel had just left 15 minutes prior. I didn't know how much Evan knew, only that his silence when he entered was different. It wasn't fatigue or distraction. It was knowing. He looked at me, really looked, like a man memorizing the last image of something precious. Then, almost quietly, he asked how long. I couldn't speak. My throat closed, my heart pounded so fiercely I thought I would faint. He didn't shout. He didn't break anything. He simply stood there, the weight of all the betrayal pressed behind his eyes. After a long pause, he nodded once, as if confirming something to himself. "Okay," he said. "I get it." That calmness was far worse than rage. Anger could have meant there was still something to salvage. Calm was final. He walked past me toward the bedroom. I followed, whispering, "Evan, please." It didn't matter. I was just lonely. He didn't answer. He opened the closet, pulled a suitcase, and folded his clothes with mechanical precision. I reached for his arm, but he stepped back. "Don't," he said softly. That single word cut deeper than any slap could. "I'm not angry," he continued, zipping the bag. "I'm just done. You broke something I can't fix." Tears blurred my vision. "Please, I'll do anything. Therapy, time apart, anything." I begged. He finally looked at me, and I'll never forget the expression. Grief mingled with a strange, serene acceptance. "You already did everything," he said. "You just didn't do it with me." He moved to the door, paused, and looked back. "I hope he makes you feel seen," he said quietly, "because that's all I ever wanted for you." Then he was gone, for days. I expected him to return, to call, to fight, to scream, to do anything. But he didn't. I later learned he'd taken a small apartment downtown and quietly transferred all the bills into my name, methodically tying up loose ends. The silence of the house was unbearable. His coffee mug remained on the counter. His scent lingered in the sheets, and every corner reminded me of what I had destroyed for a fleeting moment of attention. Daniel stopped calling, too. Perhaps guilt, or perhaps he realized I wasn't worth the consequences. Either way, his absence only echoed the emptiness I had created. 2 weeks later, an envelope arrived. Inside was a single sheet of paper, Evan's handwriting. It wasn't a divorce notice, nor a letter of hate. It simply read, "You don't have to apologize. Just promise yourself you won't confuse being noticed with being loved again." I broke down reading it. In those few words, he showed more grace than I ever deserved. I read that note repeatedly for days, as if somewhere between the lines he had hidden a way to undo everything. But there wasn't. The ink was final, the message clear. In the weeks that followed, I learned what silence could do. Every sound became louder. The hum of the fridge, the creak of the floorboards, the whisper of guilt that never faded. I returned to work, forced to smile at friends who didn't know what I'd done. Every casual question, "How's Evan?" felt like a knife twisting deeper. 3 months later, I saw him again at the grocery store. He stood in the produce aisle, holding a bag of oranges, wearing the same calm expression that had once shattered me. I froze. Part of me wanted to run, but my feet betrayed me. I walked toward him like a dream I couldn't wake from. "Evan," I said softly. He turned, eyes meeting mine. For a split second, there was that old recognition, warm from a past that had felt like home. Then it vanished. "Hi, Claire," he said. Just my name, no anger, no affection. I managed a small smile. You look good. You too, he replied. There was an awkward pause. I heard you sold the house, I said. Yeah, I whispered. It didn't feel right staying there without you. Probably for the best, he said. I swallowed. I wanted to thank you for the note. It meant more than you know. He hesitated, then sighed. It wasn't about forgiveness. It was about letting go, for both of us. My chest tightened. Are you happy now? He gave a half smile, one that didn't quite reach his eyes. I'm getting there. Happiness isn't instant. It's peace that lingers a little longer each day. He began to walk away, but something inside me broke open. Evan, wait, I called, voice trembling. If you ever wondered, I still love you. I never stopped. He turned just slightly, enough for me to see the outline of his face in the store lights. Then you should have loved me when I was still standing there, he said quietly, and he left. That was the last time I saw him. I wish I could say that moment transformed me instantly, that I rebuilt my life with grace and clarity. But healing isn't poetic. It's slow, messy, full of relapses into regret. Some nights I scrolled through old photos, tracing a smile on my phone. Eventually, I moved to a smaller city. New job, new apartment, new people who didn't know my past. I told myself it was a fresh start. Deep down, I knew I was just learning to live with the ghost of what I had destroyed. Months later, unpacking, I found a small box. Mementos, ticket stubs, Polaroids, a worn leather bracelet Evan had once worn. I sat on the floor holding it, and something shifted. Not pain, but quiet understanding. He hadn't punished me when he could have. He had chosen dignity over revenge. And in that choice, I saw the difference between love that controls and love that releases. I went to the window, rain streaking the glass, and whispered to the empty room, I'm sorry. Not to beg for him back. The ship had long sailed, but to finally admit it to myself. The truth is, I didn't lose Evan the night he walked out. I lost him long before. I mistook attention for affection, comfort for care, noise for love. Sometimes I still wonder where he is. Perhaps he found someone who knows the value of quiet mornings and shared silence, someone who doesn't need to be seen to feel loved. As for me, I live differently now. I don't chase sparks. I nurture warmth. I don't seek validation in glances or messages. I've learned that real love isn't about being chosen every day. It's about being present, even when no one's watching.